Enlil, his brother on the other hand, was known as Enlil and Anunnaki, and he was the Sumerian god of the air, and was more powerful than any other elemental deity, eventually being worshipped as the king of the gods. He was also the son of Anu, and together, the three of them formed a triad which governed the heavens, earth, and underworld, or alternatively, the universe, sky and atmosphere, and the earth itself. After Anu, Enlil was the most powerful of the Mesopotamian gods, keeper of the Tablet of Destinies, which contained the fates of both gods and humans. But in that case, who was Anu, and what were the Anunnaki? That's a great question, but before we can answer it, we're going to have to look at another question first. So let's do the time warp again and return to that burning question from so long ago. Who are the Nephilim? As we discussed, the Bible speaks of these people or beings called the Nephilim. There's a lot of debate today as to who and what these beings were. Looking back to the original Hebrew translation, we see the word Nephilim directly translates to the fallen ones. Today, many believe this to mean that they were fallen angels, which seems to be what was depicted in the 2014 film, Noah. Sitchin, on the other hand, believed the translation was a bit different. He read fallen ones to mean those who came down, and that they didn't fall, but landed here in some kind of spaceship. To him, the Nephilim were the people of the fiery rockets. Of course, this is one of those translations that doesn't seem to often hold up well to scrutiny, but it's interesting given the context of these stories nonetheless. We should note that in his writings, Sitchin commonly used the name Nephilim in tandem with the Anunnaki, also written sometimes as Anunna. But personally, I'm not certain that this is the best use of these titles. You see, the Anunnaki are believed to have been the descendants of Anu, the Sky Father, and the two most prominent leaders of this group are Enki and Enlil. Beyond that, there's a lot of inconsistency between how many Anunnaki there were and what roles they fulfilled. For example, in the Enuma Elish, there's only a small handful of gods who are introduced. Tiamat, Enki, Marduk, you know the group, but then out of nowhere, Marduk places 600 gods on the earth and 300 in the heavens, and no explanation is ever given about who these gods were or where they came from. Later on in our own history, the ancient Hittites identified the Anunnaki as the oldest generation of gods, who were overthrown and banished to the underworld by the younger gods, which is curiously what is described in the Enuma Elish itself, and reflects the stories of the old Titan gods in Greece being overthrown by a younger pantheon. In the Bible, we see the following passage. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Well, they better have been courtly and romantic, because if that line is implying anything else, I don't like it. The Bible describes that they were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, essentially making the Nephilim be a little bit more like demigods, a hybridized species born of the gods, who would have been the Anunnaki and humans together.